would you look at that? We got some costume, we got some props, we got a beautiful little... what would you call that? For everyone who has seen the show, you might recognise a few of these items. If you haven't seen the show, what are you doing? Make sure you click the link in my bio after this video and make sure you check it out. That would be massively appreciated. But firstly, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has supported, bought, shared, anything to do with my one-man show, It's All Just Timing. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you so, so much, and to everyone who has been with me on this journey. It was a long, long process, but I'm so glad that I finally got to be able to share it with the world. For the day of recording, it's nearly been out for a month. By the time this video gets out, it will be just over a month. But again, thank you so, so much. And thank you to everyone who sent in some questions in regards to the show. I've got a handful here, but let's just get into it. But for those of you who are new, now then, my name is Mitchell Wilson and I am an actor from the northeast of England, now living and based in Leeds, West Yorkshire. What was your favourite song to perform? Now, I'm going to say a few, because they're different ones for different reasons. Firstly, I would say 5am in Newcastle. I believe that is the 4th song I performed in the show. I'd also say Numbers. I haven't said this publicly, but Numbers was a song that I was really, really worried about performing, in the sense that I wasn't sure on the day if I was performing it to the best of my ability. But funnily enough, when, you know, the show did drop, a lot of people really, really did vibe with that song in particular, which I thought was really interesting, because my mindset was I wasn't 100% up to scratch when I was performing. And also a track called Silicon Valley, that is the second from last track that I performed. I don't know, there was something about the energy, it was a bit of It was coming to the end of the show and I felt like Silicon Valley's got a bit of oomph to it. Alright, I'll say Silicon Valley, we'll say Silicon Valley, there you go. Will the show ever be performed in front of a live audience? Hopefully, when I get a producer on board. For the time being, I'm just allowing the performance to unfold the way it has online. Do I want to perform it in front of a live audience? Of course I do, of course. It would be absolutely incredible. Maybe look at some fringe festivals across next year. But if there are any producers out there who would love to take this on board to tour and show this to the world live, hit me up. Did you take any inspiration from other performers for your one-man show, whether that be music artists or actors/performers? Many rappers that I have seen live who are a massive inspiration to me, we'll quickly list them off. Dave, Bugsy Malone. Artists like that were kind of a catalyst, obviously, because that's their genre and that's how they perform their music. So I kind of looked at it in that sense. But not just rappers I looked at, I also looked at some of the biggest names in music and how they created aura, and their stage presence is felt the second they walk out on stage. I mean, it's a lot different when you're watching on screen, but it's still the same concept. So I was looking at artists such as Freddie Mercury, Michael Jackson. I was looking at all of their performances that are like considered iconic, to bring that aura and that energy to a performance, and how everything was so clean, it was cut, they knew exactly what they were doing. But in terms of actors for one-man shows, you know, I've seen a few one-man shows, but one that I remember kind of reading into a lot was Whoopi Goldberg's one-woman show. When she first burst onto the scene, into the acting industry, and you know, she did this one-woman show to kind of showcase her skills, what she can do, and how that kind of catapulted her career to where it is now. So I'd say they were the main ones that I looked at first, but there was a lot of inspiration from a variety of areas, but they're the ones that are sticking out to me right now. What was the most stressful part of the whole process of making the performance? I would say securing a location. The amount of emails, calls, places we had to ring, look at, that was just a strenuous that was just a strenuous part of the whole process, making sure that we had a theatre that would take us on, who would be able to do the health and safety, you know, just every element, like some things that people won't even see. Securing the location was the hardest part. We had so many different theatres that were on the cards to perform there, but the amazing people at Stage at Leeds Digital Stage 1, they were who took on the show and allowed us to perform there, which was sick. Where does the title come from? I'll give you two answers. So It's All Just Timing is a line on Ethan's mixtape Patience, which obviously the performance is inspired by. On the third track, Changes, which didn't make the show, but hopefully we can get into that in one of the questions. one of the lines he says at the end, and it's all just timing. And that line always strikes out to me, considering that that song is about mine and Ethan's relationship and a situation that happened many years ago. So that's one side of it. However, the other side, my intro song on YouTube, Party Here by Octavian, literally says, "You're gonna blow, it's just timing." And I guess kind of those two things work together, considering Ethan said it, but also that that song has been with me for about 2 or 3 years on YouTube now. I guess that was kind of really fitting to the title and the whole concept of the piece. Was it tricky performing on stage alone? It was pretty much just performing monologues, which I've done before. It's not something that I was like new to, like I didn't know what I was doing or what was gonna happen. I've done that before. And plus with the songs as well, they were kind of like monologues, but just in a music melodic form, if that makes sense. I mean, I like the idea that I have someone to bounce off when I'm on stage or if I'm on screen. But when I know it's a one-man show, I know what I'm getting into. I knew what to expect. I knew what to expect. What happened and what did you do after filming was done? I had a what now moment. I don't know if you guys have ever had that in your life, but I did. And it was hard. When you put a lot of time into something and work and blood and sweat and tears and all that jazz, and then it's done, you kind of have a moment where you think, what now? And that's exactly what I had, and I remember it so clear. I remember I came back to the flat, I just knew that was it. It was all done, like everything I worked for was done. And then it was all about the way we're going to market it and distribute it. That was all I had to worry about now. I didn't have to perform, there was no more rehearsals, there was no more anything. So I had to allow my work to just speak for itself, which was crazy. But yeah, I had a what now moment, and it was hard, but obviously I cracked on with other work that I needed to do, making content, doing other auditions for other things, and yeah. You performed 8 tracks in the show. It's an 11-track mixtape though, with many question marks. So that is right, Patience is an 11-track mixtape. I only performed 8 songs in the show. Why? In my opinion, some of the songs just didn't fit the theme and what I was going for, in my opinion. The 3 songs in question, Changes. Firstly, that song's about me, so it'd be weird me performing that song. So I changed that into a monologue, which is the first monologue of the show. Never See. Never See was more like a summer banger. It just wouldn't have fit the vibe. And then Basic, I felt like that was a standalone song for Ethan. And I guess the content inside of the song itself just didn't fit with what I was going for. That's the genuine answer. When did you first get the idea and who was the first person you told? First got the idea in January 2020, I want to say. We'll go that far back. Who was the first person I told? It was Big Eth. I phoned him. I think I was playing Grand Theft Auto 5 at the time. I was playing GTA. And I just thought I'm going to ring Ethan and let him know that that's the show I want to do and that's what I want to base it off. And from then, the rest is history. Why did you make the play? I guess something that I've always stood by since 2018, to influence, to entertain, and to inspire. You know, that's been my motto, my slogan, whatever you want to call it, for so many years now, and I guess to sum it up in that way, that's why I made the play. But I guess it was also to give people an insight into my world and my way of thinking, and I guess to explain to people that you can do whatever you want, you can be whatever you want. You shouldn't care what anyone thinks or what anyone says. You should just do you and do what makes you happy, because at the end of the day, you only get one life, so you got to make it special. And I wanted to put that across through my love for music and through my passion for acting. Plus, I've always wanted to do a one-man show. A lot of people who are in my circle know that, and I felt like it was just a nice moment and something that's really big and exciting for the fact that it's now on my acting CV, it's in my portfolio, and it's something that I can look back on with pride and be proud of, and something that in the future more people and generations to come will watch it and think, wow, that was awesome. How long was your creative process? We'll make this the last question. So like I said, the idea came to me in January 2020. I officially started the process on April 2020 after my call with Ethan, and that's how the ball got rolling. I started writing the monologues. You'd be surprised about how many drafts I did of the monologues and of the play itself. If I was to show you what I said in the first draft, you would not believe it, for the sense that what I first wrote to the final product, the contrast is crazy. But I had to go through that process in order to get to where I am. Looking at ways of performing it, contacting Tom and his team, finding the venue. I'd say all together, from the start to the finish, and the finish being the distribution of the performance, it took me 1 year and 4 months to get it out and get everything done, which is a lot of time, but it was worth it, and the process was something that I will remember for the rest of my life, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. But yes, thank you so much to everyone who did put forward a question. If I did miss out your question, I do apologise. If you want to leave it in the comments below, please do. I hope that has given you an insight into the show. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really do hope you have enjoyed. If you haven't seen the show already, It's All Just Timing is now available on Vimeo to rent and buy. And I really do hope you enjoy the show. I put a lot of time into this, and I really do hope it does influence, entertain, and inspire you. If you guys have enjoyed this video, could you please leave a big like on it? That would be phenomenal if you could do that. And if you are new around here and you wouldn't mind smashing the subscribe button, that would help also. Thank you so much, guys, and take care. Does everything happen for a reason?
Look,